Hello everyone and welcome to a sunny Kirkistown in Northern Ireland for the first of two races today for the Northern Irish Saloons and Seat Leons. It's the 2-litre turbo Seat Leon Super Cup cars that have found their way to the front of the grid ahead of this first race, but it's an eclectic mix of cars set to do battle around the high-speed circuit. So cars lining up on the grid then. This is the order in which they'll line up, with the Seats at the front of that grid. Barry English on pole with Brian Berry alongside, and Darragh McMullen looking for a good start from row number 2. Then the Saloons, Matt Linus has Donald O'Neill alongside him, then Gavin Kilkey and Greer Ray. Johnny Smith and Keith Ray are on the 4th row, ahead of Neil McMullen, Luke Baxter and Graham McDonald, who did not set times in qualifying. Hopefully we'll see them out there at the back of the grid. So red lights go out then, away we go. The launch towards the first corner begins, and a brilliant start made from row number 2 of the grid there from our onboard camera car. That's Greer Ray, the rear-wheel drive BMW. He's up amongst the much quicker but front-wheel drive Seats. That rear-wheel drive BMW always does have an advantage off the line, but it was quicker away than even the other BMW, so Greer Ray gets the lead in the Saloons at the front of the Seat queue. I think it's still grid order, English, Berry and McMullen. Then you've got the older Seat Leon there that's running in the saloon element of the race, despite confusingly being a Seat Leon, but it's the older spec car, so it's not eligible for the Seat Leon Cup element of the race. But that car running in the Saloons is a rapid car being driven by Donald O'Neill, and there he is looking to the inside of the Renault Clio of Matt Linus that had the pole position, but again front-wheel drive though both of those cars, so they've struggled a little bit off the line. So it's 3 BMWs at the head of the saloon queue as they head down the back straight behind the pit lane in the paddock for the first time. The Seats then are at the hairpin for the first time of asking, with Barry English leading the way. Takes a very defensive line out of the hairpin. Brian Berry then trying to go with him and trying to attack in the early stages. Qualifying though, there was quite a gulf between them, about 9/10 of a second separating English from Berry. Berry in turn, there was only about 3/10 quicker than Darragh McMullen behind him. Got Greer Ray, we're on board with the number 2 car going down into Debtor's Dip, flicks into the left-hander. Already the Saloons losing touch with the Seats that are capable of lapping about 6 or 7 seconds a lap quicker than these much more production-based saloon cars. There in 3rd position is Johnny Smith, so he's also had a good start using the rear-wheel drive advantage of the BMW to leap up the order a little bit. So Ray leads the way, and in 2nd place, I'm trying to figure out which of the BMWs that is in 2nd position, because there are several of them in the race, but yes it is, it's Gavin Kilkey. So Gavin Kilkey from 6th on the grid overall, which was 3rd of the Saloons, was actually the best starting of these 3, but he's ended up in 2nd place. That shows you how good the start was for Greer Ray. Meanwhile, the Seats are at play already. Brian Berry definitely applying the pressure here in the early stages. Seems every bit as quick as Barry English, if not slightly faster. But where does he make his move? They're dropping Darragh McMullen now slightly, the number 17 car, who we're on board with now. Through the first turn, down into the braking zone at Colonial. Meanwhile, side by side here for the lead of the Saloons. On the contact on the pit straight, and around goes Johnny Smith. Greer Ray spins as well, and they're parked right across the middle of the road with the rest of the pack bearing down on them. Thankfully, the yellow flags have gone out. The marshals were right on top of that, but Greer Ray now rejoins right at the back of the field. Only 1 car behind him, and that will be Johnny Smith, and they both end up tangling whilst fighting for the race lead. That presumably now hands the race lead over to Gavin Kilkey, who was in between them somewhere, and this now I think becomes the fight for 2nd place, with the Renault Clio of Matt Linus, the pole sitter, back up into P2. On board then once again with Greer Ray as he turns through Colonial, and there damage to the back unfortunately of the 11 car of Johnny Smith, so it looks as though he may play no further part in this race, depends how bad that damage is. But Johnny Smith in strife then in the early stages. Seats back across the line, still very close together indeed between the top 2. With Barry English and Brian Berry, there they go. Look, these 2-litre turbo front-wheel drive Seat Leon Super Copa cars, one make championship that used to run across Europe and indeed in the UK as well. Both for these and actually the previous generation of Seat Leons, and a very, very popular sort of junior tip-top formula was the Seat Leon Super Cup. Lives on here in Northern Ireland with the Irish Seats, and he's to replicating the close quarters racing we regularly saw from the main championship all those years ago. English and Berry then nose to tail, and they're about to, in fact the leaders have just gone past the ailing Johnny Smith. Now our 3rd place man Darragh McMullen does as well. Berry to the outside, all sorts of adventurous lines being taken at the hairpin there as Barry English hops up over the curb. Berry is floating around in his wing mirrors, but hasn't been able to find a way past him yet. Though, as I said, he does look like marginally the quicker of the two. Third place man, McBullen, flings the car through that flat-out left-hander at Debtor's Dip, bouncing around under braking into Colonial. Every braking zone we get to, English is having to defend, which will be frustrating Brian Berry, but also it will actually be give you a bit of confidence that, yes, I am quick enough to make this move stick, and clearly Barry English thinks so too. Through the Fisherman's Bend they go again. At this part of the circuit, there's no real way through there. Those cars pretty much fill half the road, so getting another car at the inside takes some doing. It's a little bit risky, but a good run through that chicane will be enough to potentially open the door at the end of it into the hairpin. Back with Greer Ray, then he's got Honda Civic Blue Baxter in front of him. But of course, he's now going to start overtaking people, and he didn't qualify at the front of the field. All that track position that he gained was gained off the line. Of course, he's lost it all now again. This time the outside line is tried by Brian Berry, but he still cannot get past Barry English. This place is not actually as easy to overtake at as you'd think. There is realistically only one overtaking opportunity, and that is the hairpin, which is fairly easy to defend. You can overtake here at Colonial, but again, Barry English knows to drive down the inside of the road there to prevent there being an opening, and then it's pretty much single file through Colonial 1 and 2. Fisherman's, if there's a gap on the inside, you can maybe throw a cheeky lunge up the inside, but that doesn't really seem to appeal to Brian Berry, so still English hanging on. Curbs down into the chicane. Look at the amount of curb they take, not so much through the right hand, particularly through the left. The line on board here, Darren Mullen uses lots of curb there, but then absolutely hammers the curb on the left. But these cars always did withstand lots of curb usage, and that still seems to be the case. Down into the hairpin they go. Meanwhile, this is the battle for second place, I believe, in the saloon element of the race. Number 71 is Gavin Kilkey. No, it's the lead, excuse me. So Kilkey has been caught then now by the pole sitter Matt Linus and by the Seat of Donald O'Neill. So a three-way fight for the saloon lead now makes its way through Fisherman's. And the two front-wheel drive cars actually coming on quite strong here in the middle part of the race. Will they now be so preoccupied with battling each other that they allow the BMW to pull back clear again? That's what's happening. Look at the far end of the track. That's onto the back straight. This is what I love about things like Sports Saloon Championships like this one, where you've got real variety of cars. You've got the rear-wheel drive, quite long wheelbase BMW, and then those two little front-wheel drive pocket rocket hot hatchbacks, the Clio and the Seat Leon, and they will all have different strengths and weaknesses. The BMW maybe a bit better through the high-speed corners, through the tighter sections. That's maybe where the shorter wheelbase cars work better. In a straight line, though, who has the edge? It's the Clio, look, because it drives straight around the outside. In fact, the BMW is overtaken by both of them, so Linus and O'Neill both get through. So the Clio now leads the Cupra in second, and the BMW down to third. Both of them, well, all three of them, in fact, running a bit wide there at Colonial. None of them really making friends with the apex. Move made then in a straight line. That's not necessarily what I expected to be the case, but that's what happened, and the lead battle then in the saloons now becomes an all front-wheel drive affair. Meanwhile, Darren McMullen is coming up to lap Greer Ray, because the Seats, as I said, are significantly quicker than the saloon cars, and so they are expected to lap most of, if not all of, the saloon field before the race is over. That in itself could open up opportunities for overtakes, although actually it seems to have split up the top two in the Cupra. Barry was getting way down from Brian Berry slightly, so the top three overall, the leading three, or the only three Cupras in the race, are starting now to split up rather, which means most of the entertainment looks likely to come from the saloon brigade. Down the pit straight again towards the first corner, and the other Honda Civic starting to close in as well. To line this time for both of these two. They're really racing away now from Gavin Kilkey in the BMW. Seems to have a little bit of an edge here over the Seat, you'd have to say. It just doesn't seem to have the performance to... Having said that, it closes back in again through this section, so I think the Seat maybe a bit better over the curb, slightly softer suspension, carries good speed onto the back straight. You know that Clio is very rapid indeed. This is a proper Renault Clio Cup car as well, so they are proper bits of kit, these. Another very successful one-make tip-top championship as well. And the Clio, a proper racing car, really touring car really, and so in a straight line it is quicker than the Seat. years or so in age between these cars as well. Bullen now, third place in the Seat, turns into a hairpin. Oh, and that is a spin, and that's number 11, Johnny Smith, who was originally, not Johnny Smith, excuse me, 111, Alan Donnelly, excuse me, I was going to say, Johnny Smith should be in a BMW, that is definitely Honda Civic. Alan Donnelly has very smokily pulled off, we have to assume, to retire, so he looks like he'll be out of the race. Johnny Smith, by the way, after a pit lane visit, is still going, so they've sent him back out there. He's 3 laps down, but he is circulating still, as the Seat again there of Donald O'Neill nearly finds an overlap on the inside of Linus's Clio. Again, carries more speed onto the straight, drags itself alongside. Now, has it got enough ponies in a straight line to complete this manoeuvre? I don't think it will do. Renault definitely seems to have an edge in a straight line. Bullen now coming through to lap the third-placed BMW, that of Gavin Kilken, which means the Cupras are about to lap these two. They can see the race leader, Barry English, in the background, so this could get interesting. Still the Clio ahead of the Cupra in the Saloon battle, but was the leading Cupra class car, the newer Seat Leon Super Copa machine. Barry English is going to catch them at Debtors Dip, which is not a nice place to catch traffic. It goes up the inside of the older shaped Seat. Now, can it get up the inside of Linus's Clio? No, it can't. Not into Colonial. With daylight opening up now, though, between the top two in the Saloons. Now, that might redress itself once the quicker Cupras have gone through, and there was a bit of a miscommunication there between O'Neill and Brian Berry. Brian went to go to the outside, and then O'Neill tried to move out of the way, which actually meant he moved into the way, and they very nearly made contact. That's definitely played into the hands of Barry English, but I think it may well have delayed Donald O'Neill slightly, although he's closing back in again now through the chicane. Bullen will be next on the scene, ball with him again through the chicane. It's that 2-litre turbo engine just propelling it down this back straight at real breakneck speed. There's Barry English then, out of the hairpin once again, pulling away now from Brian Berry. That's nearly a 2-second, in fact probably over a 2-second advantage that he's got. Black and white warning flag going out to to Neil McMullen as well. So Mullen, unfortunately, is looking as though he's going to get, well, he's been warned for exceeding track limits. It's Neil and Derek McMullen in that car. They're sharing the number 17 machine this weekend, so I'm now being told it's Neil that's in the car for the first race, so Neil McMullen, according to the timing screen at least, is in for this one. Derek McMullen will in for race number 2 later on. So they're sharing the number 17 car, and right now it is running in third position on this, somewhere behind the leading 2 Cupra class cars. Here is Neil McMullen, as we now know it is in the 17 machine. His way down the back straight. Look at the Saloon battle that's going on in front of him though. Donald O'Neill to the outside of Matt Linus in the Clio. Putting 6-litre turbo engine in the Clio, with 8-litre turbo in the Seat. It is an older engine, of course. Going to try and go right around the outside, but where does Neil McMullen go here? He's going to go right between the two of them. Uses the superior power of the 2-litre turbocharged Seat engine in his Leon Super Copa. Ahead of both, still Clio ahead of Seat in the Saloon battle, so nothing really changed there, and they can resume the battle now in much the same sort of position they were in a few laps ago before the overall race leaders came in amongst them. So Seat closing back in again here, but we're into the final few laps of this race now. If Donald O'Neill's going to do this, and I think he can do it, he just needs to time his run a little bit better. He keeps on getting this great run onto the back straight, but can't go anywhere with it, so it's the hairpin, I think, or maybe even up towards Colonial where he could make a move. It never seems close enough at the end of the straight. He's fully alongside on this occasion, though, I think, down the back straight, so this might be his best opportunity yet. Donald O'Neill then trying to pull himself alongside, goes to the outside line, but Linus has the inside and should come off the corner better, which he does. Seat gets back in that slipstream again. Puff of white smoke from the back. White warning flag goes back in again now, so Neil McMullen, excuse me, about his track limits infringement. Seat then hunting around in the braking zone, ducking and diving over the bumps. The Clio three-wheeling its way through Colonial. Is making a very, very strong appearance here. It's not a car that that has a huge amount of experience in, so he's still sort of learning the ropes, but he's a good driver, and the car we know is quick, so he will only get quicker from this point on, which is ominous for Donald O'Neill, who's struggling to get past him anyway. Up the back straight they go towards the hairpin, and he's not fully alongside this time, so I don't think he's going to get another chance to overtake on this particular occasion into the hairpin. Neil McMullen has nobody to overtake for the time being, although he is starting now to catch the back of the saloon grid once again. Across the line goes the Clio and the Seat. The BMWs in this race, by the way, they have their own championship as well. Greer Ray is leading that championship, coming into this round by 9 points over Gavin Kilkey. So the battle that they're having is taking on some extra significance as well. And of course, it's Kilkey that's ahead at the moment after Greer Ray's spin earlier on. Doesn't particularly affect these two though. They are battling for the Saloon Championship, not the BMWs quite clearly. So they're only really occupied with each other. There they're out of the final corner, comes the race leader down to the start-finish line to start what should be the final lap of the race. Yep, last lap board just goes out in time. Barry English then onto his final tour of the 1.5 mile Kirkistown circuit. Goes on the inside of Greer Ray. In fact, if you can go a second lap down, it's not that often you see that happen. Spin really rather took him out of the contention for the victory, but hopefully in race 2 he should be able to bounce back. We know he's quick. The car, if he gets another start like he did in that BMW, then he should be capable, more than capable in fact, of fighting for a win or at least a podium. Just needs to try and stay out of trouble if he can. But down into the chicane for the final time comes our race leader Barry English, and he's got about a 4-second cushion now over Brian Berry. Really started to eke that gap out through the traffic, and he's not even in sight. Brian, there he goes, just overtaking Greer Ray now. So into the final corner then, Barry English in the number 10 Seat Leon Supercope comes out of the hairpin for the final time. 16 laps in the book, and Barry English led every single one of them across the start-finish line. He takes the checkered flag now and is victorious in our first Seat race of the day. Second place for Brian Berry. Third will go the way eventually of Neil McMullen. And then will it be Matt Linus or Donald O'Neill that win in the Saloons? Well, the Seat result first. English takes the victory from Brian Berry in second, and Neil McMullen rounds out the runners in third. Then in the Saloons it was Linus. He held on by about 3/4 of a second in the end over Donald O'Neill in second. Gavin Kilkey was in third, Greer Ray fourth, and Luke Baxter in fifth. So Kilkey takes some points out of Greer Ray in the championship battle.